breathless and silent through the night. What a thrill. I'm searching and I'll melt into you. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I fly to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater.
What good folks, it's Dark319 and welcome back to another What If Naruto Was Aired, a Big Boss Throne. So like, comment, subscribe and share, but besides all that, enjoy the video. Chapter 8, The Three Trials. Naruto sat in mediation. His body was at rest, but his mind was at work. Inside his very mindscape there was a battle about to take place. 3 to be exact. 1 against Gray Fox, 1 against Revolver Ocelot, and 1 against Big Boss himself. Each opponent for Naruto being extremely dangerous. They taught Naruto everything they knew. Every skill, form, stance, etc. Naruto was taught everything they could teach him. Naruto's mindscape. It's time, Naruto, said Big Boss, with Naruto nodding and saw the place change to the scenery that was Rakovoj Barrack. This place seemed fitting for where the greatest of warriors go to fight their hardest and die without regret. I'm ready, Naruto replied simply, with Gray Fox and Ocelot appearing while Kurama decided to be a witness to this event from his position off in the distance. I'm up first, said Gray Fox, as his having body shifted from when he human to the suit worn during the Shadow Moses incident. I'm sorry I have to kill you. Just wanted to say that in advance, said Naruto, with Gray Fox cocking his head to the right slightly while letting out an amused electronic chuckle. That's funny, Naruto. I was going to say the same thing to you, Gray Fox replied in his electronic voice, with both combatants wielding their HF swords in combat ready stances. Let's give them some space, Ocelot. The last thing you want to do is get in their way and lose an arm, again, said Big Boss, with Ocelot grumbling while his right arm jerked at the memory of Shadow Moses and how the cyborg ninja sliced off his limb. Right, replied Ocelot while giving the 2 swordsmen their much needed space. Neither opponent moved. Neither one looked away. This match didn't start until the time was right. It was the way swordsmen fought one-on-one. A single action would tell them to start, and no outside forces aside from that moment mattered. The 2 warriors never letting their eyes linger away from the other, knowing it would mean their doom if they did. A single flower petal blew in front of them, and the fight was on. The 2 had been so coiled in their mirrored sword stances they took a chunk the ground off when running at the other. When their blades clashed, they echoed loudly for all to hear, and sparked when scraping against the other. The 2 fought viciously against the other, knowing that holding back was not an option, and to do so would mean defeat. Off on the sidelines, Big Boss along with Revolver Ocelot watched Gray Fox fighting Naruto, and had to admit this was an intense one-on-one. The training Naruto had done with Gray Fox in the past had always increased each time, but this was not a training session, and the kid gloves, if there any, had come off in this fight. Big Boss even let a flinch happen on his face after Naruto landed a punch to Gray Fox's current metallic facial structure and the spin kick that followed. Gray Fox countered with a kick of his own, and this time Ocelot flinched from seeing the hit landed on his shared student. Damn. I knew he could use a sword with deadly precision, but to hit hard enough to possibly break the enemy's jaw isn't something ignore, thought Ocelot while Naruto spit out some blood and a few teeth, though that wouldn't affect him outside of the mindscape. The 2 continued to fight fiercely, as swords sliced through flesh, metallic skin, and other hits landed between Naruto and Gray Fox. The grassy field around them was at risk of catching on fire from the sparks they made from the clashes of their swords. In fact, one soon did, with the fire spreading around them in a circle-like manner, with Big Boss looking at Kurama, and seeing the fox had manipulated it to form a ring around the 2 combatants. What? It's more dramatic this way, explained Kurama, with Big Boss looking at him before they turned to look at the fight between the 2 swordsmen speed up. It was coming to an end. They both had cuts all over. Some deep. Some not. Each bleeding from their wounds in the process. panting heavily while getting ready for the final strike that would decide the victor of this battle. "You have grown so much since we first started training Naruto. You have become the ideal student any teacher would desire," said Gray Fox with Naruto smiling at him, as blood fell down the Namikaze's face from a slash mark from the HF sword his teacher landed on him, and the blood dripping from his body before staining the ground. "Thanks Gray Fox sensei. Hearing that from you makes this all worthwhile," said Naruto while seeing the man was also ready for the final strike same as him. "This is it," said Ocelot with Big Boss nodding since he had seen this happen before back in the day. A moment went by between the two swordsmen before they sprinted forward, moving faster than the human eye could track, and they seemed to vanish into thin air for over 10 solid seconds. They reappeared in the other's position, their backs to one another, and a sense of calmness was about them. It was shattered however, as Naruto fell to one knee, and blood spraying everywhere from the deep diagonal cut over his torso. Gray Fox stood still for a second before he fell to his knees and his head fell backwards and rolled off his body. Naruto had won. "We'll take a short break so you can recover Naruto. When you're ready, Ocelot will be your next opponent in the trials, and finally myself after that," Big Boss said to Naruto currently trying to recover, mentally, from the attacks Gray Fox had landed on his body. "Understood," replied Naruto with the young warrior slowly healing while seeing Ocelot getting ready to fight with his guns he loved so much. Naruto had seen the man make them appear and explained to him the history of the world before the end of guns and their long-forgotten power they had over others. The different models, shapes, sizes, and ammo guns could hold while Ocelot explained about his own personal preference was the revolver-based gun. Hence the spinning action he did with them and how the only drawback was reloading after the chambers for the rounds had become empty. In truth, Ocelot had told Naruto that these weapons were made for short-range combat, but were also used as a last resort against enemies when longer-ranged guns were either empty, or not in reach to be used. Naruto would have to remember that when he faced Ocelot. Outside Naruto's mindscape, "How is he?" asked Fu while Hinata was putting a cold wet towel over her husband's head. Hinata had found Naruto slumped on the ground, his body burning up, and it was clear his body was in pain despite no outward physical appearances. The Hyuga woman had rushed him to the hospital of Outer Heaven and word spread to the others about their leader being out of commission for an unknown amount of time. Hinata of course knew this was the start of trials that Naruto had been preparing for since he had told her in advance along with the others, though it was clear this trial to become the next big boss was taking a lot out of him. "He's burning up. He's showing signs of being in a vicious battle, but showing no signs on his body getting hurt," answered Hinata while seeing Naruto's body go tense, relax, and then tense again under the strain of being injured in combat while in combat. "How long is this expected to last?" asked Roshi seeing Naruto's face become covered in a heavy sweat. "I don't know. It all depends on the trials he's having with his senseis," explained Hinata since she along with the others were told about the three masters of warfare in Naruto's mind by the Namikaze himself. "They aren't pulling any punches on him during these trials, are they?" asked Han seeing Hinata looking uncertain since she didn't know them personally. "I don't believe they were going to go easy on him from the start. Naruto-kun's teachers each took their own training very seriously. No punches were pulled by their teachers," answered Hinata since Naruto had told her quite a bit about them. "It must be some pretty serious shit to do this to him," stated Tuya with her seeing him breathing heavier with each passing moment. "Yes. It must be serious," said Hinata while watching Naruto's body struggle to overcome this and could only imagine what was going on within his mind. "Naruto's mindscape, you're fast boy. But you can only dodge my bullets for so long," stated Ocelot using every trick in the book he knew regarding his guns to land a hit on Naruto. He was having an overall success rate of 25% with his bullets hitting Naruto in the leg, his right shoulder, lower torso, and even grazed the side of the neck. Still, Naruto was proving to be one tough bastard, not unlike Big Boss himself when they had their moments, and the kid's skills with the HF sword more than helped compensate for what the trees couldn't in terms of protection. Ocelot would use the age-old skill of having his bullets ricochet off the trees, but Naruto used his weapon to block the metal projectiles, and avoiding serious injury, for the most part. "I only have to dodge or deflect them until you run out," replied Naruto while throwing his voice to be in another place to confuse Ocelot on where to fire. It worked twice before, but the old war veteran caught on to him, and Naruto knew he would be hesitant to jump the gun in firing where the voice came from. So rather than play into Naruto's hands, Ocelot took this time to reload since he was in fact out of ammo from the revolver in his hands, and drew another before putting away the previous one. "Come on out boy. You can't hide for long. Sooner or later your wounds will get the better of you. If not, the blood trail you're leaving will help me pinpoint your location, and I'll put a bullet between your eyes. Don't think I won't. It's kill or be killed here, said Ocelot before hearing movement behind him and fired 2 quick shots to ensure that if one missed the other would hit some form of flesh. Only to see that he had fired at nothing. He had been played. You replaced your footing for a killing stroke, said Naruto before he appeared from Ocelot's right side and cut off the man's right arm at the elbow. Ah! Not again, yelled Ocelot, as he clutched his stump, and fell to his knees in pain before looking up to see Naruto preparing for the killing stroke. And with a quick horizontal slice, Revolver Ocelot was no more. 2 down. 1 to go, said Naruto while taking this moment to mourn the loss of his second sensei and say a small quiet apology to the man even though it was a necessary thing. Later. Only when you're fully healed to fight me will we have our war, said Big Boss while watching Ocelot's body dissolve away like dust in the wind. I'm sorry. I know how close you were to those 2, said Naruto with Big Boss nodding slightly and sensed the boy took no pleasure from this. Killing should never be pleasurable in Big Boss's eyes. Naruto agreed with him. Outside Naruto's mindscape, Hinata sighed in relief when Naruto's sudden fever broke and he opened his eyes to see her sitting beside him. The Namikaze smiled at Hinata and she did the same while the other women in the room glared at him for making them worry so much. Hey Hinata-chan, said Naruto with a sore throat for a voice before Hinata gave him some water. I'm glad you're awake Naruto-kun. Are the 3 trials over? Asked Hinata with Naruto shaking his head no. You baka. You had us worried. If you weren't taking this dumbass trials I'd kick you in the balls, said Anko while shaking her fist at him. I'll keep that in mind in the future Anko-chan. As to your answer Hinata-chan, I have 1 more to go, and it's against Big Boss himself, answered Naruto with Hinata looking a tad worried since she had heard him talk about Big Boss being the Grand Master of Sorts between the 3 of them. The leader of the trio, said Hinata with Naruto nodding his head and he saw her worried expression. Yeah. This is just small reprieve until we do battle, answered Naruto though his tone of voice told everyone in the room he was ready. Bring him down Naruto-sama, said Roshi with Han nodding. We have faith in you being the victor of this outcome, stated Han with Naruto smirking at the 2. You better not lose Naruto or you're going to deal with me afterwards, stated Anko with Naruto letting out a weak chuckle. You always did know what to say to motivate me Anko-chan, replied Naruto before he closed his eyes and went back to the battlefield awaiting him. Damn right I do, said Anko with a grin on her face. Naruto's mindscape, are you ready? Asked Big Boss with Naruto nodding. They were both unarmed, but that was the whole point of this final battle. This wasn't a fight involving guns, swords, running, shooting, stabbing, slicing, or striking down your enemy. This was a fight using only your arms, legs, feet, hands, and basically your body to its fully potential, as a living weapon. Bring it, replied Naruto, as the 2 were now in CQC stance, and both were determined to come out of this the victor. Even though there could be only 1 winner in this. I won't hold back, stated Big Boss with Naruto nodding while a smirk appeared on his face. You wouldn't be much of a sensei if you did, answered Naruto with Big Boss nodding in agreement. With the talking over, the 2 engaged in hand-to-hand combat, and Kurama just watched them fight with great interest. Since the 3 masters of warfare came into his vessel's life, Kurama had come to respect them, and Naruto to the extent where he told the boy his true name. Naruto had earned his respect for putting up with years of abuse, the lies, and fighting to bring about some form of peace to the elemental countries. And killing one of the few Uchiha left in the world didn't hurt either. The 2 fighters continued their seemingly never-ending battle, which almost looked like a dance of sorts between them, and was truly a remarkable display of skill. Each got in a few hits to the ribs, face, and the lower back. Big Boss was clearly using his countless years of experience to his advantage while Naruto was using his greater abundance of energy and agility to counter this. At the rate they were fighting in the flowery white petal-laced field, things could go either way, and Kurama honestly thought this battle was going to be close. Battles between a teacher and student usually were if the student was strong enough. He's gotten better, thought Big Boss while trying to land hits, block those Naruto tried to land on him, or counter with moves of his own. Damn it. I can barely land at a hit. He knows every block, move, and counter move I'll make against him. I need to outsmart Big Boss or else I'll tire myself out and he'll be able to counter me. Thought Naruto, as he was finding few openings, and it would only be a matter of time before Big Boss went on the offensive against him. Leaping back, Naruto decided to let Big Boss make the next move since the Namikaze's own offense wasn't working, and see what the man would do with this change. Within seconds of going defensive, Big Boss went on the offensive, and began to push against Naruto with everything he had. With each passing second, Big Boss was gaining ground, and Naruto was losing his footing from his action to go defensive. Come on Naruto. I trained you to endure this kind of punishment with your eyes closed. So, endure it, exclaimed Big Boss, landing several hits to the younger man's face and aimed to hit him with a spin kick. Before Naruto caught the leg and quickly broke it with a hard elbow where the kneecap was located before landing a solid right to Big Boss's face. The man hobbled back while nursing his jaw and realized he had moved too quickly on the offensive, since believing Naruto's decision to go defensive meant his student was low on energy. He played his hand too soon, and now Naruto had landed a hit which left Big Boss open to an assault by the blonde. Clever move, kid. A good strategy if I ever saw one, said Kurama, though it was more to himself while seeing Naruto take full advantage of the opening and began land more hits on Big Boss with each passing moment. Naruto continued attacking Big Boss without mercy. He knew that any hesitation on his part would give Big Boss a chance to defend himself. Deep down though, Naruto wanted to stop, his mind telling him this was Big Boss he was hurting, and should stop this. His sensei, friend, advisor, comrade, and surrogate father figure was being pummeled by his own hands. But Naruto couldn't stop. In a fight to the death like this, you don't stop until your opponent is dead, or you are at the enemy's hands. Before Naruto knew it, he was behind Big Boss, his arm wrapped around the man's neck, and was trying to break it. Big Boss himself was trying to throw Naruto off of him, but the beating his body had taken was too much, and for a moment, he thought the boss was standing barely 10 feet from him. It's time, Jack. Time to come back to me. We're all waiting for you. I'm coming, Joy. Soon we can be a family again, thought Big Boss, as he closed his eyes while accepting his soon-to-be death, and stopped fighting Naruto's attempt to kill him. With a loud snap that echoed throughout the field of battle, Naruto had successfully killed Big Boss, and completed the pre-verbal passing of the torch. Within seconds of letting the dead man's body fall to the ground, Naruto realized what he had done, and the horror behind his achievement made him feel sick. In a way, these 3 trials made him almost as bad as a member of the Uchiha clan killing his best friend for the next stage of the Sharingan, or Orochimaru killing his former sensei. I'm not worthy of friendship, stated Naruto with tears running down his face, as he saw the body of Big Boss dissolve like the others, and looked at Kurama to see the fox look back at him with sorrow. You are better than the Uchiha clan and Orochimaru, kid. Unlike them, you feel the grief, and the guilt that comes from the death of those you care about. You do not do it for power or revenge against them. You did it because that was how they wanted things to happen. These trials were to the death, and they knew this. They gave it everything they had to push you beyond your limitations and died knowing you had succeeded them in everything they taught you, explained Kurama with Naruto nodding, since that was just like them. You think I'll see them again one day? Asked Naruto with Kurama nodding. You are their family, kid. When the time comes to pass on, they will await you with open arms, answered Kurama with Naruto smiling now with tears running down his face. Thanks, Kurama, said Naruto with the fox smirking at him. Anytime, kid. Anytime, replied Kurama while the warrior left his mindscape for the outside world. Outside world, Naruto-kun, exclaimed Hinata, as she saw Naruto open his eyes, or rather his right eye, since the left one was covered by the eye patch. Hi Hinata-chan, said Naruto with a smile, though it felt empty to him. The trials are over, aren't they? Asked Hinata, but she saw in his eye that they were, and the death of each teacher hurt him. Yeah. They're now officially over. I am now worthy of the title, Big Boss. Answered Naruto with Hinata nodding, while her smile was that of a gentle yet sad smile when hearing of the loss Naruto just suffered. I'll let everyone know. We're all glad to see you pass the trials, Big Boss, said Han before he left the room, with Roshi giving Naruto a respectful nod. And so it begins, stated Naruto, though it was more to himself than to the others in the room. Do you want to be alone, Naruto-kun? Asked Anko, who decided her lover needed a more compassionate version of herself, and not the crazy psycho everyone else had come to know outside of the family. No. I don't want to be alone. Stay with me please, replied Naruto, his voice pleading with them to stay him, and be his rock against this time of grief. After hearing the pain that was there, Hinata, Anko, and the other girls in the room were now holding on to him while helping the man deal with this painful loss. Outer Heaven HQ, Naruto's office, Naruto sat at his desk and looking at some recent reports regarding the current state of the elemental countries. The world was stabilizing. Slowly, of course. But it was definitely heading in the right direction. Taking out a cigar, which he learned how to make during his time with Big Boss teaching him, the now proclaimed Big Boss of Outer Heaven, and the elemental countries, lit the object before taking a deep intact with the smoke, leaving a few moments later out the air vent. His wives didn't like him smoking around them, and he loved each one too much to let the smell of these ruin their happy moods. Or when they are in the mood. These were his "I'm thinking deeply while working" cigars that took the stress out of life and were one of the few private joys he had when working. "You are a hard man to get a hold of, Namikaze Uzumaki Naruto," said Konan after she appeared once several hundred pieces of paper came together and formed the blue-haired woman. "Considering my enemies and assassins trying to kill me to make a name for themselves, I would think you of all people would understand why, Konan of the Akatsuki," replied Naruto while blowing smoke from his cigar out of his mouth. "So you know who I am?" Konan shot back with Naruto looking at her with his one eye. "You would be surprised on just who is spying on your group. Though something tells me you already know who it is," said Naruto with Konan nodding. "That's correct. The spy's name is Uchiha Itachi. He reports to Jiraiya of the Sannin, who reports to the Hokage of Konoha, and the woman in turn relays the information to you," explained Konan with Naruto smirking. "I'm impressed. How long have you known? Or rather, have you always known?" asked Naruto, seeing Konan gauging him carefully. "We've known since he first started. While Itachi may be strong, we felt his killing of the entire clan to be questionable. There should have been more than one survivor that night, and no general alarm had been raised when the killing started. There was also the fact that certain pieces of information was only known to the Akatsuki's most highest ranked members and was given to Konoha was also key to what we knew to be true," explained Konan while Naruto just nodded his head while he digested this information. "Do you think Jiraiya knew?" asked Naruto with Konan thinking for a moment. "We suspected at some point that he did, but didn't care to do anything about it, and just intended to have Itachi keep spying on us until his usefulness ran out. The Uchiha is a wanted man after all and could not find sanctuary anywhere in the world for what he is accused of doing," answered Konan while seeing Naruto narrow his eye at her. "So if Konoha or another shinobi village's forces don't kill him, the Akatsuki would in their place. You could make up anything you wanted and no one could dispute. Konoha couldn't, since they would have to explain their own hand in Itachi killing the Uchiha clan. Yes, I know the truth about that night, just as I'm sure you do. It's not surprising when you think about it," explained Naruto with Konan nodding, since she along with Pain knew the truth about that night. "Yes. That is indeed correct. However, the reason I am here is not to talk about Uchiha spies, or their handlers that pass along the gathered information. I am here to talk about you, and Pain," replied Konan with Naruto narrowing his eyes again. "I see. And what does Pain want? My surrender? The surrender of every Jinchuriki here? The surrender of the three-tailed bijou that was once in the previous Mizukage of Mist and has agreed to guard our shores? The next words you speak, Konan-san, may very well be your last," said Naruto with his cigar in his right hand in between his index and middle fingers. "No. He wants an alliance between you and him," answered Konan with Naruto looking at her with suspicion and surprise showing in his eyes. "Isn't it a little counterproductive for the Akatsuki organization to form an alliance with Outer Heaven?" asked Naruto with Konan shaking her head. "Not with the Akatsuki. With him. With Pain," countered Konan with Naruto looking even more suspicious now at her. "And why would I wish to ally myself with the one leading an organization seeking to extract all 9 of the bijou from their Jinchuriki? If I agreed, it would mean I'm betraying the others, and I will tell you right now I would sooner die," stated Naruto with a great deal of conviction in his voice that told Konan he would die before betraying the other Jinchuriki. "What if I told you that by allying with Pain, you can take down the Akatsuki? That you would gain a long-lost family member from your mother's side of the family?" asked Konan with Naruto's eyes widening before they narrowed dangerously. "As in I'm going to kill you if I suspect something foul with your choice of words, kind of dangerously. You are holding a member of the Uzumaki clan hostage?" asked Naruto while not really caring about the organization or taking it down. Family was more important. "No. The member of the Uzumaki clan I'm speaking about is Pain himself. His real name is Uzumaki Nagato. He is from Ame like myself. We were found by Jiraiya many years ago and he trained us in the shinobi arts to the point where we could defend ourselves," explained Konan before telling Naruto how things came to be regarding the Akatsuki organization and the man influencing things from the shadows as the true leader of the organization. "I see. Did Jiraiya know Nagato is an Uzumaki?" asked Naruto with Konan nodding. He knew. Jiraiya would not be as skilled a shinobi if he didn't know or suspect that Nagato was a lost member of the Uzumaki clan, replied Konan with Naruto seething in anger at the Sannin being so stupid in letting a member of the Uzumaki clan be left alone after some minor training to survive. He should have taken Nagato, Konan, and even Yahiko to Konoha where they could have grown up with better lives. Unless He did it on purpose, stated Naruto with Konan frowning at him. I don't understand, said Konan with Naruto letting out a sigh. Jiraiya didn't take Nagato with him because you and your other friend Yahiko would have gone too. If Nagato grew up in Konoha with his bloodline, he could have possibly prevented this Toby character from coming after my mother, and she would have had another Uzumaki aside from herself to help not feel so alone. He couldn't risk there being another Uzumaki outside of my mother and made sure she never knew about Nagato in the slightest, explained Naruto with Konan's eyes widening at the thought. How many people could have become our friends? How would things have turned out had we been raised in Konoha? Would Nagato gotten along with Kushina? Would he have been able to stop Toby or stop the Kyuubi from getting out of her the night Naruto was born? Thought Konan with so many questions and possibilities opening up to her. His usefulness to Konoha is now over. I have put up with the man long enough. Konan. Do you swear to me that this alliance between myself and Nagato is the genuine thing? Asked Naruto with Konan nodding. I swear it. Nagato told me to see you about this alliance and to discuss the matter of dealing with the members of the Akatsuki before focusing on Toby. He is very powerful and cannot be taken lightly, answered Konan with Naruto smirking at her. Tell Nagato I've got his back when it comes to liquidating the Akatsuki organization, and if everything turns out the way I hope, he's got himself a long-lost family member that will never betray him to anyone, explained Naruto, seeing Konan nod before she turned into multiple stacks of paper and flew out the nearby window. The only thing indicating she was even in Naruto's office was the origami crane she left on his desk. Chapter 9. Peace at last. Naruto stared at the origami crane for a second before picking it up and thought about what Konan told him. He knew Pain was an Uzumaki before Konan confirmed it for him, but he didn't want her to know that he knew that fact, and wanted things to be confirmed by a supposed enemy. There was no lying, and Konan and Naruto knew that she loved the tormented Uzumaki man behind the image of Pain. The Namikaze thought about what had happened to the poor man and what could have been if Jiraiya had not been such a fearful moron and letting someone like Nagato not be part of Konoha. To give Nagato the feeling of family with the long-lost member of the Uzumaki clan that was Kushina and Naruto's mother being there. Naruto knew so many possibilities from this action had been closed off, and it upset the man how Jiraiya had screwed his family over that far back. Roshi. Han. Please come into my office, said Naruto into the communication system on his desk, and within a few moments before his two fellow Jinchuriki came in. Something wrong, big boss? Asked Roshi with both Han and himself sitting down in chairs before the leader of Outer Heaven. I need your honest opinion about this dilemma I'm in. I can't go to Fu, Gaara, or Yugito because they doesn't have enough experience. Killer Bee will just rap poorly to the point where I'll have a strong desire to become violent, explained Naruto with of his fellow Jinchuriki looking at each other and then back at him. What's the problem? Asked Han before Naruto explained to them about Pain seeking to break away from the Akatsuki with an alliance with Naruto and help Outer Heaven win against the organization by liquidating it. Part of me wants to keep Jiraiya alive a little bit longer to help make sure the Akatsuki organization become completely removed. However, I'm suspicious of Jiraiya possibly betraying us, and letting a few within the organization slip through the cracks. Should I have him removed from play sooner or later? Asked Naruto with Han and Roshi thinking over what he just told them. He's a threat to everyone, big boss. With his incredible knowledge of the sealing arts, his sage mode, and spy network, Jiraiya of the Sannin could be a threat to us when this war with the Akatsuki is over. He must be removed, answered Han with Naruto nodding at his response and then looking to Roshi for his opinion. Jiraiya of the Sannin is a strong individual. If we remove him now, we risk a key figure granting us victory over the Akatsuki. We also risk the organization getting bolder with the Sannin removed before we can crush them. Still, he is a threat to us, and to not even acknowledge it would be foolish, answered Roshi with Naruto nodding in agreement, since Jiraiya still had value to the fight against the Akatsuki. One for Jiraiya living and the other for his death. Both of you have presented reasonable facts for each side, with Roshi even admitting that Jiraiya is still a threat regardless if his value as an ally is there. I know for a fact that Pain wishes to leave the Akatsuki. I know he is an Uzumaki. I know he possibly more powerful than Jiraiya and possesses the Rinnegan eyes. Jiraiya's loyalty in this war has long since been put into question, as he has leaked information to his spy in the Akatsuki about Outer Heaven, and with the explicit intent of hurting us. In my eyes, I find the trade-off of Jiraiya of the Sannin dying for Uzumaki Nagato, and his partner Konan joining us is too good an offer to pass up, said Naruto with the two nodding in agreement. Will the others be told about this? Asked Roshi with Naruto shaking his head no. The fewer people who know about this decision the better. I hate keeping the others in the dark, but they might not understand, or disagree with the decision. However, I will change that part of the plan if you feel I should let them know, explained Naruto with the two looking at each other for a moment. We shouldn't keep this from them. If we keep secrets from them, they will distrust us, and you even more, said Roshi with Han nodding in agreement. Very true. Still, you can understand why I'm favoring the idea of keeping them out of this situation? Asked Naruto with Han and Roshi nodding. We do. All the same, keeping secrets from them is not healthy, and while you are the leader of Outer Heaven, we all deserve to be trusted to know about every decision you make. If there is anyone who disagrees with yours decision, they will make it known, and stated their reasons behind the choice, answered Roshi with Naruto nodding and finding the man's words held a great deal of weight to them. Again, you make a valid point. I don't want to keep secrets from them either. It makes me almost as bad as the Sandaime Hokage or Jiraiya of the Sannin, said Naruto with Han and Roshi smiling since they felt telling the others about this was the wisest course of action regarding his decision. You are a good leader, big boss, said Han with Naruto smirking at him. That's only because I have people like you two and the others to help me in that regard, replied Naruto with the two smirking back. Konoha days later, hate Tsunade Hein. How is everything? Asked Jiraiya with Tsunade looking over some of her paperwork and a message from Naruto. Everything is fine on my end of things, Jiraiya. Though I can't say the same for you right now, answered Tsunade with Jiraiya frowning before he saw her make hand signs and saw the room went into lockdown. Something only a Hokage could do when involved in having a top secret meeting at the highest level, for some personal alone time after doing so much paperwork, or, in some extreme cases, kill someone without them being allowed to escape. Jiraiya wondered if one of his fantasies was going to come true between himself and Tsunade while in this very office. However, he saw the eyes the woman had on him, and knew that the woman's intentions for him had nothing to do with sexual pleasure of the flesh. Your value in this war with the Akatsuki is not longer high, Jiraiya of the Sannin, stated Naruto after appearing from the shadows of the room with his HF sword drawn. I see. So you're cashing me out, huh? Asked Jiraiya while seeing Naruto and Tsunade nod. Konan helped confirm what we already knew. She and Nagato want to liquidate the Akatsuki and join what is left of the Uzumaki clan in Outer Heaven, answered Naruto while Jiraiya's eyes widened slightly at hearing the two names from the past. I haven't heard those names in years. So they are alive, stated Jiraiya while Tsunade just scowled at him. You left a member of the Uzumaki clan that place. You could have taken them with you back to Konoha. You just left them there knowing one of them was family to Kushina, exclaimed Tsunade passionately now with Jiraiya looking at her with deadly serious eyes. What do you want me to say, Tsunade? That I'm sorry? That I should have just taken him and the others with me? Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you because I'm not going to say I'm sorry. Sure, Nagato was of Uzumaki blood, but we already had one in Kushina, and didn't need another, or those other two orphans with him. Kushina needed to be loyal to Konoha. Not to her nearly dead clan. She would have taken off to find him or brought him here. If that happened, she would have been allowed to rebuild her clan, and keep the Kyuubi within it all within the clan. It was too great a risk after what happened with the Uchiha clan and Madara. Sorry, Toby sensei thought so too, which was why he ordered me to keep my mouth shut to Kushina, and Minato to a lesser extent. I had to do what needed to be done in terms controlling Kushina and preventing Kyuubi from leaving Konoha in the event the woman decided to leave to find any other stray Uzumaki clan members, explained Jiraiya with Tsunade seething at his words while Naruto watched him carefully with calculating eyes. And Karen's parents? They were Uzumaki too. They died in a fire caused by an invasion. She had their journal telling of how they contacted Konoha about Kushina and asking to secretly come join the village. They grew concerned when Konoha didn't answer back with a response when they knew it would reach the village, said Naruto with Jiraiya growling slightly while seeing Tsunade looking I took it to the Sandaime. It was just months before his retirement and weeks before my former teammate's betrayal. Like with Nagato, he didn't want any remaining survivors of the Uzumaki clan to pop up and become a powerful force within Konoha. We needed to control the power of Kyuubi and we wouldn't be able to do that if Kushina had members of the Uzumaki clan alive to support her, explained Jiraiya with Tsunade looking livid when hearing that. So screw the Uzumaki clan in the name of power and control. Allies mean nothing to you like it did the old man. Use them until they have nothing left to give and throw them away without so much as a thank you, stated Naruto with Jiraiya scowling at him. It's the way of the world. Friendships between people in high places does not exist. Only politics and the value of being friends with those in high places is what counts. I lost any and all desire to help out my friends after everything I've gone through. Friendships with others is an archaic concept that shouldn't be embraced in this day and age. If you were smart like me, then you would accept this too, and do the same, explained Jiraiya with Naruto letting out small hollow chuckle. Says the fool who only thinks only with his tiny dick, said Naruto with Jiraiya seething at the insult. Shut your mouth, boy. Your father gave me far more respect, Jiraiya shot back with Naruto scoffing at him. I doubt it. Between your lecherous ways and leeching off people, it's enough to make anyone want to kick your ass, replied Naruto with Jiraiya looking furious at him. I trained your father to be the best and he surpassed my expectation. You went against the principles of village, disrespected my sensei, dishonored your family, and speak of things you don't understand, Jiraiya shot back. And what did you train me, his only son mind you, in when it comes to the shinobi arts you're so proud of? Nothing. Nothing. You disrespected my father. You betrayed the very principles of this village, and as for your so-called sensei, fuck him, Naruto said with Jiraiya charging at him with the intent to kill. Die you damn brat, exclaimed Jiraiya, as he had enough of Naruto's words, and hurtful remarks against him for his actions. Naruto dodged the open palm with the Rasengan in it. Naruto knew the Sannin was going for a quick kill. The sooner Jiraiya had taken him down, the better it was in his warped mind. Naruto knew that Jiraiya knew that Tsunade would try to stop him within moments of his actions in fighting their shared godson. Naruto himself got under Jiraiya's guard, as he smashed his elbow into the Sannin's ribs, and hit the man in the face with the butt of the HF sword's hilt. It was followed up with a knee to Jiraiya's chin, then an open palm to the Sannin's face while leaping over him with that momentum, and brought the HF sword down for the death blow. Only for Jiraiya to substitute with a piece of furniture at the last moment. You were so blinded by grief, fear, and maybe even the prospect of power of the fox in my gut back when I was younger. It's hard to imagine the great Jiraiya of the Sannin being reduced to this weak thing I see before me. I honestly don't know who is more pathetic in my eyes. You? Danzo? Orochimaru? Hiruzen? Or maybe it's this Toby character that leads the Akatsuki organization from the shadows? Questioned Naruto with Jiraiya sneering at him with a bloody face before spitting some of it out of his mouth. You shut your mouth, brat, exclaimed Jiraiya before being hit by Tsunade in the face and sent him into the wall. How about I shut your mouth for you, Jiraiya? Asked Tsunade after feeling the jaw of her former teammates being shattered. Damn you. Both of you, mumbled Jiraiya with his mouth spewing blood and teeth with a massive bruise on the side of his face where Tsunade's fist hit him. Damn us? No damn you. Damn you, Jiraiya of the Sannin. One of the legendary three who fought Salamander Hanzo. One of the 3 students taught by the Sandaime Hokage himself. Sensei of the Yondaime Hokage of Konoha. Friend of my father, exclaimed Naruto with the tip of his HF sword pressing against Jiraiya's neck. You forgot to mention that I'm your godfather. You can't do this to me. It goes against the Uzumaki clan way to kill off family. Jiraiya shot back, though it was a bit difficult with blood falling out of his mouth like a waterfall. You were never a part of my family in any sense, Jiraiya. You left me to fight for myself and made sure those that were meant to take care of me never did. Why should I consider you a part of my family when you don't deserve that honor? Asked Naruto while bringing his HF sword up to slice the man clean in 2 at the skull. Because the Yondaime was my son. Answered Jiraiya much to the shock of the 2 in front of him. Explain. Or at least try to with the way your mouth is right now, commanded Tsunade while Naruto still kept his sword raised to strike the Sannin down. Minato's mother was a good friend of mine I knew since the academy. She was a shinobi of average potential from what I saw of her abilities when there. She became what you might consider to be a friend with benefits I came to embrace after so many strikeouts and getting a date with Tsunade, explained Jiraiya with the Hokage scoffing at him. You mean striking out and successfully getting into my pants? Tsunade shot back with Jiraiya shrugging like he didn't care at this point. Whatever. The point is, she felt pity on me one day after a harsh form of rejection from you, and one thing led to another. Soon after, we would hook up in secret after one, or both of us had a long tiring mission. We would joke, laugh, and she'd occasionally hit me for being a pervert like you. But when we were in the mood, she was every bit the pervert I was, and even suggested I go into writing to become a great author on the side. After she got pregnant from our last encounter together, her family disowned her, and she died in the hospital giving birth to Minato. They didn't want anything to do with him, so he went to the orphanage, explained Jiraiya with Naruto narrowing his one seeable eye at him. Why didn't you take care of him? Claim to be the father? Asked Naruto with Jiraiya just scoffing. Because I didn't love him like a son. As student, yes. What I had between him and his mother was strictly friendship with a side of physical lust. I would train Minato as his sensei, but I would not raise that boy as my son, And we are all better off for it, Jiraiya said before Tsunade grabbed his face and slammed him into the wall. You really are a piece of shit. I'm glad I turned you down for every date you asked me out on. I can only shudder to think what would happen if I had died after being knocked up and having your child, exclaimed Tsunade before throwing the man back onto the ground. What happened to my grandmother's parents? Asked Naruto with Jiraiya looking away from him. He asked you a question, Jiraiya. Answer it. Answer it right now or I'll make you wish you had the first time around, Tsunade said while cracking her knuckles. I have nothing to say on the matter, replied Jiraiya before being hit right in the face again. Tell us, exclaimed Tsunade with Jiraiya being silent, and the woman began to wail on him until Naruto put a hand on her shoulder. Stop. I know what happened to them, said Naruto simply with Tsunade looking at him in surprise. What? How? Questioned Tsunade with Naruto just looking down at the bloodied body of his godfather and now grandfather. From his silence alone I know the answer. He had them killed, said Naruto simply with Jiraiya tensing with what parts of his body still could. What? Why would he do that? Asked Tsunade looking from Naruto to Jiraiya and then back at her godson. Because he could. The Sandaime helped you do it, did he? He made all the arrangements for their death to happen. Covered it up without anyone being the wiser. He cemented your undying loyalty with this action. He scratched your back over this problem and you scratched his when called for on this matter. This happened repeatedly since the proof of your infidelity was walking around to one day rise up through the shinobi ranks until he became Yondaime Hokage. Your son became the leader of the Leaf Village and you did not even tell him the truth before his death that night of my birth. All there was between the two of you was the bond of teacher and student. Not that of a father and a son. You were ashamed despite the greatness of your son. You feared what would happen if people knew, even after my father was old enough to understand, and possibly be forgiving of your actions, answered Naruto with Tsunade looking hatefully at Jiraiya on the ground with a disfigured face scowling at her. Some father. Some grandfather, exclaimed Tsunade before kicking Jiraiya in the ribs for each emphasized word. He's no father of my father. He's no grandfather of mine, stated Naruto before moving Tsunade away, put his foot on Jiraiya's neck, and stabbed the man with his HF sword in the temple region. What now? Asked Tsunade with Naruto removing his weapon, flicking the blood and brains off of it before sheathing the HF sword. Now we comes the beginning of the end for the Akatsuki, answered Naruto coldly. Akatsuki HQ 2 weeks later, Toby knew something was wrong. He could sense something was off the entire week. It felt like his enemies were closing in on him. The entire base was quiet. Too quiet. The other remaining members of the Akatsuki were nowhere to be found. The statue holding the one bijou they had acquired was gone and wondered what Pain was up to with Konan. Normally, the two of them talked strategy, but recently things between the two had gotten put to a complete standstill, and Toby suspected their partnership was at an end. Looking for someone? Asked Naruto, as he appeared from the shadows, and stared at the man proclaiming himself to be Uchiha Madara. How pathetic. You. How did you get in here? Demanded Toby since he wasn't expecting the man with the title of the big boss of Outer Heaven to be here. Not yet anyway, and that was only to extract the Kyuubi from the man's body. How indeed, answered Naruto with a hint of amusement in his voice. Pain, Toby said simply like it was the most obvious answer. And Itachi. You really should have killed him sooner. Once I told him about Jiraiya's death and the offer to join Outer Heaven, well the man simply had no reason to stay, said Naruto with Toby's one eye narrowing at him. And Pain? Asked Toby with Naruto smirking at him. Uzumaki Nagato is family. Family does not betray family. You would know that if you still had any. Do you still have any or have you just forgotten? Asked Naruto seeing Toby tilt his head slightly to the right. I'm a nobody. I've forgotten what my true name was long ago. Along with any family I may have had before now, answered Toby with Naruto shaking his head. Is that why you created the Moon Eye plan? To become a god and detach yourself from the rest of humanity? With no family, friends, or any basic regret for your past actions, it would be easy for you to just rule over all of us while controlling our lives without any form of sympathy for those you hurt. How can you hurt others and not feel anything? Are you that empty inside? Are you so soulless that you would kill countless people just to rule over and dictate the lives of many more without caring? Asked Naruto with Toby narrowing his Sharingan eye at him. You don't know anything, boy, exclaimed Toby with Naruto just staring back. I know enough to know you're a spiteful man. A spiteful man, who had nothing in life growing up, and wants what others have. You hate that people have what you don't. You can't stand it. It eats you up inside. People have family, friends, and real names that aren't taken from someone else long dead. You have nothing, but want everything, and yet don't know what to do with it. Hence why you want the moon I plan to succeed. You will have complete control over their lives, their wants, their happiness, and just to spite them all, you'd rip it all away from the very people you intend over. You are a spiteful child in man's body with a god complex, stated Naruto with Toby looking pissed off despite the mask covering his face. And what about you, boy? After all the things you've done against Konoha and taking all of the Jinchuriki away from the shinobi village, how are you any different from me and what I've done, Kyuubi Jinchuriki? Shot back Toby with Naruto smirking. How am I different? I'm different because I have people I care about. I have loved ones, family, friends, and a name I am proud to call my own with a few other names rightfully earned. I don't drain Jinchuriki of the bijou to put into a statue and then throw away the dead bodies like they were trash. I don't claim to be someone I'm not. I didn't manipulate a Mizukage with the Sharingan to start the bloodline civil war in Mist. I didn't try to interfere with a pregnancy of a female Jinchuriki and then hold a minute old child in my arms with the body of the infant being covered with explosive tags. I didn't rip the Kyuubi out of the woman and use my Sharingan to make the fox go on a rampage. Do you want me to keep going? Because I can, said Naruto with Toby growling at him. Enough. I'm sick of you and your actions against me. You have denied my right to rule over these mindless insects. They have no direction. They have no stability. I could give it to them. I still can, exclaimed Toby with Naruto shaking his head. You can't even remember your true name. How can you give them direction or stability if you can't even do that? Asked Naruto with Toby removing his mask to reveal the dark and slightly gray-haired man with a face that looked like an Uchiha glaring at him. Simple. I am an Uchiha, said Toby with Naruto tilting his head slightly to the right. You don't remember your real name, but you know you're an Uchiha? Asked Naruto while seeing Toby smirked at him. My Sharingan eyes are proof of it, explained Toby with Naruto shaking his head. Maybe you are an Uchiha. But who is to say they weren't implanted and you were able to return them to normal? Especially if that room filled with their eyes I saw is any kind of indication. You have no real proof that you are an Uchiha. I can even think of several ways to discredit the claim of you being an Uchiha. So in truth, you have no real way to actually prove you're an Uchiha, Naruto simply said with Toby looking livid at hearing that horrible truth. Shut up, exclaimed Toby with Naruto laughing at him. Or what? Is little Toby going to cry? Is he going to throw a temper tantrum? Do you want a bottle, little baby? Asked Naruto mockingly with Toby charging him, sword drawn, and the two began to slug it out via Kenjutsu. I'll kill you. I'll kill you after I rip Kyuubi out of your body and make him attack outer heaven. I'll destroy all you love and cherish. I'll make everyone you care about die slow agonizing deaths and make them know how you died by my hands, exclaimed Toby, as he blocked Naruto's HF sword, and dodged several slash attempts with the HF dagger. You have to defeat me first, Toby team. Naruto countered, as he outmaneuvered Toby's sword strikes, and landed a kick to the man's ribs. What? He hit me? That's not possible. My Sharingan eyes should be preventing that, thought Toby while seeing Naruto smirking at him. Surprised I hit you? You shouldn't be considering my new friends told me of your little dimensional rift you caused to travel and prevent being hit. While you were away doing some Akatsuki-related business, Nagato along with Konan, and myself put seals all over the place this underground shithole you call a base to neutralize all forms of dimensional shifting. Meaning that when you get hit, you're going to get hit hard. Explained Naruto with Toby looking even more pissed off. Die, exclaimed Toby, as he couldn't use jutsus because Naruto was doing everything in his power to keep the distance between them short, and any attempt of using a jutsu at this point would result in getting fatally injured. The two fought viciously against one another with the battle going from Kenjutsu to Taijutsu when both knocked their enemies' weapons away. Toby was finding this situation was not to his liking, as he found himself once more being pushed back by Naruto, and his skills with CQC. Toby had read the report on Naruto's skills and had been trying to devise a means to counter them all. Sadly, the timing of his enemy being here was not expected, and didn't expect Pain to surrender the Akatsuki to his kin on a silver platter. A hard spin kick to the head sent Toby flying back and hitting the ground just as hard. You are so weak it's pathetic. Nagato should have killed you years ago, stated Naruto while walking toward the downed and supposed Uchiha. Weak? Weak. How can I be weak when I have the power to be any place I want in mere moments? I have the power to influence the bijou to go on a rampage, exclaimed Toby with Naruto letting out a chuckle. You also have the power to be a whiny bitch, but that's beside the point right now. What I'm referring to is you being so weak when fighting me right now. You have no one to fight for. You have no true strength. You don't fight for anyone except yourself, and that only gets you so far, explained Naruto before dodging Toby's sudden move to punch him, then the follow-up attempt, and several other fists from the shadowy leader of the now destroyed Akatsuki. Until Naruto caught the fist aiming for his face, his eyes glaring at Toby, even though one of them was being blocked by the eye patch, and proceeded to painfully break the hand at the wrist. Toby fought back the urge to scream out in pain before Naruto stuck the arm of the now broken wrist and badly broke it at the elbow. This caused Toby to grunt at the feeling of his limb becoming and felt Naruto's foot strike his head before it hit the nearby wall. Toby grabbed the leg with his one good arm and tried to push it away, but Naruto pushed back, and used his leg again to smash the man's head against the cave wall. After Naruto brought his leg down, he saw Toby's face was bleeding heavily, scars littered his face from connecting with the jagged rocks of the underground base of the Akatsuki HQ underneath Ame, and had one of his eyes closed because of it. You think the world will know everlasting peace once I'm gone? It won't. The world will know pain, suffering, and loss from the wars that will come in the future. You may stop it should such a thing happen, but you won't live forever, and even outer heaven will fall to the hands of time as we all must do, said Toby, as he breathed heavily now, and struggled to get up. I don't expect everlasting peace, Toby. I never did. What I want is to change the world for the better. You wanted to change the world for your own personal greed. Wars will come and go within the elemental countries, but make no mistake when I say outer heaven will always remain to help ensure such wars don't spiral out of control regardless of the times. We will not see this world and all the people in it are not destroyed, explained Naruto with Toby scoffing at him. You're a fool. The world will burn without me ruling over it like a god. Only I can keep these people safe by controlling their every action, said Toby while Naruto shot chakra strings to where his HF sword was and brought the weapon to his hand. That's not keeping them safe, Toby. That's enslavement, Naruto simply replied. If the system works, Toby shot back with a sneer. That's the problem, Toby team. It doesn't work. That's why you've lost. It's why you are about to die, replied Naruto while spinning his HF sword in his hand. I'll see you in hell, exclaimed Toby, as rushed forward to possibly take down Naruto in a last-ditch effort, but his foe was too fast, and clearly saw it coming. A quick step back, chakra pushed to the bottom of his feet, Naruto moved forward with blinding speed, and sliced Toby's head clean off with his HF sword. Toby himself was shocked at first since the initial act wasn't felt for a few seconds, but moments later the stinging pain of flesh being cut opening, and the icy grip of death took hold. Toby fell to his knees, clutching his throat for a second, trying to will his body to stay connected, but sadly for the fallen supposed Uchiha, gravity decided to factor into this, and the man's head detached from the rest of him. I may one day go to hell for the things I've done. For the people I've killed and most likely will kill in the future. I don't know for sure. What I do know, however, is that level in hell you will be on will be much higher than my own, and my time in that place will be much shorter too, said Naruto to the dead body of Toby before burning it into nothing via a fire jutsu. Outer heaven sometime later, it is done? Asked Nagato with Naruto returning with a nod that Toby was indeed gone and Ame was now leaderless for now until their red-haired Uzumaki returned. Yes. How are you holding up? Asked Naruto with the real man behind pain sitting in the hospital bed with Konan beside him. I'm feeling better. Your wife is an amazing medic, Naruto-san. Tsunade-sama taught her well, said Nagato seeing Naruto smirk and looked at his wife currently blushing upon eye contact with her husband. They would definitely be having some alone time later. That my godmother did, and I'm proud of my wife's skills in healing. She's a healer first and a warrior second, but that's what I love about her, replied Naruto while seeing his loving wife go cherry red in the face. It was always fun to make her blush. It will take a few years, but Nagato-san will regain full control of his body, and won't rely on the chair anymore, explained Hinata with Nagato smiling at the idea of being able to walk on his own 2 feet again. Konan was happy too, but for other reasons since she wanted him mobile for other, and slightly more, perverted reasons. Though she hid it well. Soon Nagato-kun will be healed to the point where we can be intimate and I can have his children. I want children. Thought Konan while the image of her and Nagato rutting came into her mind and followed with the army of children they would have as a result. Konan had a lot of pent-up sexual frustration that needed to be released, and by Kami she was going to see to it that Nagato satisfied her in every way possible. The book she had secretly bought on the black market titled How to Tie Down Your Man and Make Him a Father of Your Children by Nara Yoshino was practically memorized inside her head. That's good to hear. I want Nagato up on his feet and leading Ame down the right path, said Naruto with Nagato smiling at him. Thank you for everything you've done for us, Big Boss Sama, said Nagato, bowing his head slightly with Naruto shaking it off. There is no need for that. We're family. Just call me Naruto, replied Naruto, since he didn't want his kin to bow down to him like that. Very well. Konan will need to return to Ame soon to keep the peace there while I'm healing here. As my second in command, she can make sure there is no anarchy, and keep the people from losing their faith in me, explained Nagato with Naruto nodding his head in understanding. I have no problem with that. Also, the bijou you have sealed in that statue needs to be released soon, and you are the only one who can do it. Unless of course you want to just blow the damn thing up, said Naruto, though the last part about blowing up the statue was offhanded. No. I mean, I can set the bijou free in a few days from the statue, said Nagato, while Naruto smirked at him and realized the leader of Outer Heaven was messing with him. Excellent. I'll talk to you later, Nagato. Come on, Hinata. Let's give the two lovebirds some alone time, said Naruto with Nagato and Konan blushing while Hinata followed her husband out. I want you, said Hinata huskily into his ear before kissing him. And I want you. Meet me at our special place in 10 minutes, said Naruto with Hinata looking at him hungrily. I'll be there in 5 and I'll wear the outfit you love so much, said Hinata with Naruto grinning ear to ear. Have I told you how much I love you, Hinata-chan? Asked Naruto with Hinata giving her own smirk. All the time. Though I'm sure you can prove it again when we're alone. See you in 5, answered Hinata while walking away with a sway to her hips. Damn, that woman is cruel vixen for teasing me with her ass like that. She's not walking straight for the next 2 weeks, said Naruto to himself while planning in his mind how to make his sexy wife pay for that enticing view. Oh yes. Hinata would pay, though he seriously doubted she would hate her punishment when Naruto got through with her. Epilogue 10 years later, Uzumaki Yahiko. You get back here this instant, young man, yelled Konan, as a blur ran through Outer Heaven to escape the pursuit of its forces hunting him down for the prank he pulled on Sabaku no Kankuro. The poor man fainted when he looked into a mirror and saw his face look like that of a geisha and the dress to match. How Yahiko did it, only an Uzumaki could figure out, but they weren't talking since they were too busy laughing, and one was on the run away from his mother. Man, I wish I learned how to scatter into paper like mom, said Yahiko while the red-haired boy tried fleeing the high-ranked pursuers, but was soon caught by his mother, who had appeared via scattered paper, and was now looking him right in the eyes after lifting him up. Anything to say for yourself, young man? Asked Konan with Yahiko sweating heavily under his mother's piercing eyes. Oh well, I only did it because I felt the need to defend your honor when Kankuro team said he wanted to grope you, answered Yahiko with Konan narrowing her eyes at him. For your sake you better not be lying, said Konan with her tone telling Yahiko he was even deeper trouble if his words weren't true. I'm not, stated Yahiko frantically with Konan giving him the look that all children fear when it comes to their mothers wanting the truth. We will see, said Konan before dragging Yahiko before their host in Outer Heaven. I swear pranking is genetic in the Uzumaki clan, said Hinata from her position with Naruto smirking too at seeing Yahiko being dragged back. Maybe. Though we did stress to our kids not to pranks anyone in the family. Everyone else is fair game, replied Naruto, knowing his kids from all his wives were like that too. I still wonder how they were able to dye Roshi's hair neon blue in broad daylight, said Hinata, as she remembered their eldest son Ichigo pranking the Jinchuriki, and Roshi was chasing him around while spewing lava at him. Roshi wondered the same thing too. B didn't show himself for a week after Kushina painted him in his sleep to look like a mime, said Naruto, knowing his little girl was a real hellraiser. Oh Kami. Don't remind me. When Shikamaru came to visit, those two pranked him by showing Gaara pictures of him kissing Tamari. We had to use seals to restrain your friend from killing his future brother-in-law, said Hinata while the two of them laughed while recalling how Shikamaru ran like he never ran before in his life from an enraged Gaara while Tamari was chasing after her brother to keep him from killing Shikamaru. Anko encourages them and the twins Minato and Jack with their actions. Not that I'm surprised since they have her wrapped around their fingers by bribing the woman with Dango to look the other way, explained Naruto with Hinata shaking her head. You're one to talk. Enough ramen and you would say what prank? Said Hinata with Naruto looking mockingly hurt. Oh. What about you, Hinata-chan? One cinnamon bun from them to you and you're in a whole different dimension when they go about causing mayhem, countered Naruto with Hinata blushing. Shut up, mumbled Hinata with Naruto chuckling at her. Why? Because it's true? Asked Naruto, knowing he had his wife dead to rights on the subject. Maybe. Come on. Let's go inside with the others. I want to see the pictures Anko took of Kankuro in a geisha clothing again, said Hinata with Naruto laughing. Me too, said Naruto before the two went to the main room where his family and friends were talking. Happy birthday Naruto-kun, said Hinata with Naruto smiling and kissing her on the lips. Thanks Hinata-chan. Being with you, my other wives, all of my children, and my friends I've made over the years is the best birthday I could ever ask for, replied Naruto with the cake being rolled out by B. Hey! It's B with the cake and no the icing isn't fake. No lady is going to rise so all you ladies in the room don't despise, said B with everyone groaning at his rapping. You need to wish him to stop rapping, said Hinata with Naruto nodding. I've tried that already. That's the one wish I can get granted, said Naruto with a sigh. Damn, whispered Hinata with Naruto chuckling. Agreed. Maybe I'll get lucky this time though, said Naruto before walking over to the cake with his children telling him to blow out the candles and make a wish. Though if he was honest with himself, Naruto had everything he needed and didn't want anything else. Fin, omake Naruto's wish granted, happy birthday Naruto-kun, said Hinata with Naruto smiling and kissing her on the lips. Thanks Hinata-chan. Being with you, my other wives, all of my children, and my friends I've made over the years is the best birthday I could ever ask for, replied Naruto with the cake being rolled out by B. Hey! It's B with the cake and no the icing isn't fake. No lady is going to rise so all you ladies in the room don't despise, said B with everyone groaning at his rapping. You need to wish him to stop rapping, said Hinata with Naruto nodding. I've tried that already. That's the one wish I can get granted, said Naruto with a sigh. Damn, whispered Hinata with Naruto chuckling. Agreed. Maybe I'll get lucky this time though, said Naruto before walking over to the cake with his children telling him to blow out the candles and make a wish. And decided to wishing for B to not rap. Just for the hell of it. So what did you wish for? Was it good or bad? Asked B before he looked shocked like everyone else that he wasn't rapping. He didn't rap, exclaimed Anko while pointing dramatically at B. What the hell? I want to rap damn it. AHHH. I'm talking like a normal person. Ah, exclaimed B falling to his knees and crying at the horror of his rapping career going down the drain. Holy crap. It's the end of the world, exclaimed Kankuro before jumping out the nearest window. Your wish worked Naruto-kun, whispered Hinata while seeing B begin weeping and Yugito doing a little dance. Yeah. Just don't let B hear you say that or else you'll be turning my birthday into my funeral, Naruto whispered with Hinata letting out a giggle. Why must the world be cruel and take my rapping away from me? Whimpered a now depressed B while Yugito danced around happily and throwing around flowers. As for Kankuro? Well, no one cared about Kankuro. And omake, thanks for listening and remember the disrespect is real. Goodbye.
Oh, I must be